let's face it, this channel is dead. It's very obvious that the audience is gone, the viewers have left. And you can probably come up with any reason, any theory, probably politically reasons. I've said a lot of things that have upset people over the years, and they're just like, all right, well, rather than engage in conversation and tell me that I'm wrong, that I need to see it a different way, they just don't listen and just move on to something else. And that's fair. Or they don't really like the podcast, they don't like any of the panelists, or don't like listening to them. Or many people have simply shifted their interests because there's just so many other content creators that I'm competing with. And probably it's the algorithm that just messes everything up. So sometimes I luck out, it attracts some eyeballs, or it doesn't. And it just leaves me hearing nothing but crickets with every release. It also could be YouTube is just not the same platform it used to be during the quote unquote peak of Desert Coyote 22. And also, I'm probably just not making content that is good or good enough in most people's eyes. Whatever that reason is, it's probably a combination of all of it. But either way, aside from a few exceptions that manage to get engagement in the views like the old days, my audience on this channel has diminished every release over the past few years. And it just makes me think, what's the fucking point? It's one thing if I'm just starting out as a young guy making content, but this channel has been active since 2007. That's nearly 2 decades. Yeah, it started out as a thing I did with my nephew while he was still growing up, and we were living in separate states after my brother, his father, passed away. He was 11, I was 19. Now I'm 38. He's about to turn 30 in a month as of this recording. He's grown up. We both live very separate lives on different coasts, separated by 3,000 miles. It's just life. The thing is, as much as this was always a hobby channel, the time for it to be monetized came and went a long time ago, but there was always some enjoyment out of it. I'd anticipate how the audience would react, seeing how many views it would get, and the open conversation with the engagement. All of that was what kept me going. And I was always okay with having the small audience that I had because overall, it was still fun. There were many times I found comfort in seeing comments from people who agreed with me or respectfully disagreed. It felt good. But after 19 years, especially now that the audience participation is just gone, this shit just isn't fun anymore. Even when I think about making a rant or get inspired, just the thought of spending all that time writing, recording, editing, all this stuff it takes in that process, it's just something I dread, especially now when hours to days of my time just feels wasted. And the Burgers and Fries podcasts were meant to be quicker means of keeping content alive on this channel while waiting for the big Coyote Rants. And I know how much people like Thriller Wolf and Atomical, they love to make them. They're always eager to do the next recording. They're always trying to come up with different topics. And I've been the one always constantly saying, no, not this one, not this one. No, I don't want to make it too long. I don't want to do all that. Guys like Brick and Pat love making them when they can, as does Deviluke and Purplish Rain. But because I'm just simply disenchanted now, and I'm not getting any fulfillment from making and releasing episodes or Coyote Rants, it just feels like a chore. And all that time editing out the mess and noise and leaning it up to keep all the best parts just feels futile and pointless when all we're doing nowadays is just speaking into an echo chamber. I'm feeling less and less attached to the channel as the days go on and just growing more cynical as a result of it. And that's a textbook case that means I'm burned out from making videos and content. So again, I ask myself, what's the point? What am I doing? Well, I made a decision, and that is I'm going to stop making videos on this channel for at least 1 year, maybe longer. The lone exception will be a collaboration with Purplish Rain where we share our love of metal and punk music and do a side by side comparison if he still wants to do it. But there's other things now in my life, both with my job and other hobbies, that are avenues of income that deserve way more attention than anything on this channel. Case in point, on a DeviantArt page that I have, it only has 350 watchers, yet every post I do gets way more engagement and more clicks than anything on my YouTube channel, even though I'm supposed to have 9 to 10 times the number of subscribers. But each video on the channel just gets crickets. Plus, I've even made some money off commissions. Even though it's a very small niche audience, it's at least engaging. So that's where I got to go. If and when I do come back to releasing content on a regular basis, it will not be the same Coyote Rants anymore. Oh, I really like your 2016 videos. No, I'm not going to do that shit anymore. The videos will be more attuned and connected to what I do as a career in real life. And I'm sure I'll do a video essays on movies and TV shows that I loved. But when I do come back, all the political bullshit is going to be severely dialed back. So, whatever way the pendulum is going to swing during this current administration and the next, I have no control over it, but I can control what I say and what I want people to hear. That's going to be my own effort to try and cool the temperatures down between people of differing beliefs to get us back to finding common ground on things we bond over, not tear each other apart over things we disagree with. And you can still talk to me. You can chat with me on Discord, whether on the server, which I still plan on keeping up, or via private message. But as of this moment, no more rants, no more burgers and fries podcasts on the channel. I'm stepping away from video making. And for those of you who are still left that listen to my content, if this upsets you, I get it. But this was a decision that I'm making for my own sanity. Why did it take me this long to make that choice when it's been obvious for a long time that it's not fun and the audience is gone? Because I am an intensely loyal individual. I've held on to relationships that were falling apart longer than I needed to. I've held on to jobs that were taking me nowhere far longer than I should have. And even recently, when my living situation was becoming stressful and sucking money out of me due to the behavior of an alcoholic landlord roommate, it took him attempting to smash and break my computer in an unprovoked drunken rage to get me to say, fuck this guy, I'm out. So, for all of you who did enjoy the content over the years at some point in your lives, I do say thank you. You are the ones that kept me wanting to come back. So, this is not a permanent goodbye. It's just merely closing off a chapter, leaving this strange island, and moving on to the next. And I'm sure when I settle onto the next page, there will be room in my life for content creation. So, with all that said, thank you again. I'm Desert Coyote 22, and thank you for listening to me for the past 19 years.